Now, in a speech today, President Obama may have radically altered U.S. foreign policy on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, but he completely failed to address all the other ongoing Mideast conflicts and what America should be doing about them. Take Libya, for instance. Now, time has run out on the administration's 60-day occupation limit as provided by the War Powers Resolution, and now the White House must obtain congressional approval for the war in Libya by tomorrow in order to continue deploying troops there. But there was noticeably no mention of this pressing situation or the impending deadline in today's speech. Also missing was any reference to the disturbing fact that the Muslim Brotherhood is likely about to take over Egypt and, with its strict interpretation of Sharia law, put an end to things like freedom of speech, religious diversity, and gender equality. Joining me now with reaction is the president of the American Together Foundation, is Michael Gauss, and the author of They Must Be Stopped, the president for Act for America, Brigitte Gabriel. Guys, welcome back. Thanks for being with us.
Well, good to be with you, Sean.
Appreciate it.
It's a remarkable day today. It's a historic day.
It's a historic day. Yeah, we pulled the rug out from our ally. We stabbed them in the back. We would create the potential. We embolden Israel's enemies that are still on record as being fixated and focused and dedicated to the destruction of Israel. You're right. It is a sad day for American foreign policy and world peace.
That is just one point of view, Sean. If you look at the J Street, people have recommended exactly what President Obama said. I think in the interest of the peace, what President delivered this speech was the right thing, the most right thing ever any president has said. I think the people in Israel deserve security and peace.
Michael, how do you sit down?
Palestinians.
How do you sit down with Hamas, a group whose charter in 1988 calls for your destruction? How do you sit down with them and say, let's have a peace together? Oh, and by the way, the president of the United States supports your position. Well, why would the president do that to the only democracy and our close friend and ally?
Well, that's the reason we are doing this, because they are a democracy.
They're not a democracy.
No, I'm talking about Israel. We protect them and we're going to defend them.
Hamas wants to kill Israel.
We're going to do the right thing, Sean. I think Mother Teresa had said something beautiful. Mother Teresa, she said, if you want to make peace with your enemies, go sit down and talk with them. You don't talk with your friends to make peace. I think what Obama did was the right thing.
Wait a minute.
We need to sit down and talk with Hamas.
If they recognize Israel's right to exist, if they change their charter against jihad, against destroying Israel, and killing innocent people and the destruction of innocent lives, then you talk to them. Until then, if they don't meet that basic standard of recognition of humanity, Brigitte, I say they shouldn't even meet.
Sean, if you put conditions before you meet,
of course they
you can't achieve anything.
Brigitte?
Hamas is dedicated to the destruction of Israel. What President Obama did today is shameful. It is a sad day in American history when America threw Israel under the bus. Israel tried to talk to the Palestinian counterparts. Israel tried to reach over and over from the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. Barack in 2000 even offered them 97% of the Palestinian territories, and they turned it down. The Palestinians never failed to turn down an opportunity to have peace. And to think that Israel can negotiate with Hamas and that Hamas will actually come to the table and acknowledge the right for Israel to exist is foolish. Israel must defend itself, and America must stand with Israel.
Brigitte, is this fair? Israel can no longer count on the United States while Barack Obama is president to be a supportive friend. And I want to know what members of Congress are going to do. The Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, will address Congress. I wonder if he will call on Congress to speak out against a promise that America made to Israel that they would never, ever support this position.
It looks like Obama is following on a pattern. He threw Mubarak under the bus. He's throwing Israel under the bus. He is killing our allies and cozying up to our enemies, which is a sign of a very dangerous president who does not recognize the danger that is facing the United States as well as Israel. This is committing a murder by throwing Israel under the bus the way he did today. Israel cannot defend itself. This president is betraying our allies one after one. It is shameful.
Michael?
Sean, I think the policies that Brigitte is talking about, the policies of the right wing, have failed. They have not delivered security to Israel in 60 years. These policies must be abandoned, and the new policy that Obama is talking must be adapted.
Michael, who was attacked the day after the UN partition plan? Was it Israel? Yes. Who was attacked in 1967? Israel was attacked. Who was attacked in 1973? Israel's attacked. Who was hit with 8,000 bombs in the last year? Israel was attacked. So you're trying to make some type of moral equivalency here that doesn't exist. Israel's the victim, surrounded by hostile jihadists and radicals that keep throwing bombs into their cities and killing their children and blowing up buses. Why should Israel sit at the table with people like that?
Everything you said is right, Sean. I don't disagree with it. But what is the right thing to do is Israelis need peace and security. If you don't talk with them, who else would you talk with?
I think there's no talking. Either you need to recognize their right to exist, or they're going to continue to be at war. If you can't make that first basic step, there's no reason to talk to a radical. You're somehow thinking that you can negotiate with people that are adhering to an evil ideology by blowing up innocent people.
Sean, if you want to make peace, who would you talk with? You talk with your enemy, not me or someone else.
You don't have to talk to them. You can defeat them.
Now, you can never defeat people. You can never kill people. You can never bulldoze any people.
But they're going to kill you if you don't.
Well, that's why we need to sit down and talk with them, negotiate them, and bring some kind of peace.
Right, Israel already tried repeatedly.
It's a historic day today in the history of American policy.
Shameful day. I agree with Brigitte. All right,
it's
guys.
A historic day,
Shameful. Historically shameful, yes.
And it is going to lead us into peace for Israel and Palestine. This is the good first step.
You sound like Neville Chamberlain, that there could be peace in our time.
Yeah.